I'm Johan Rashi Vega, and here we are in the sound room at Holyoke Media, One Court Plaza in Holyoke, Mass. And I want to welcome Brian Feeley, who is the main person at the Miracle League. And we're here to talk about a beautiful first time at the Holyoke St. Patrick's Day Parade that is going to include a new sensory area. And we're going to get to know all about it. And also I want to welcome our media intern, Adriana.
Hello, my name is Adriana Diaz.
And we are going to co-host this interview. Brian, welcome. Thank you for being here with us.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate the time from both of you to tell us all about Sensory Street and Miracle League.
Perfect. So let's get to know about the Sensory Street.
Why do you think having a sensory area is important to have at the parade?
Well, because of the amount of sound and other sensory issues that, folks with disabilities, kids, adults, even veterans, a lot of times they can't experience sporting events, and in this case, parades. So giving them an area where they can come enjoy it and not have to worry about having, guns going off and fire trucks and, musical instruments going on. It gives them a sense of, hey, we hear you and we want to include you and be able to experience a parade like everybody else does.
The type of situations that we have at the parade, and you were even mentioning guns, which is true. There are parts of the different representations marching at the parade that they fire blanks. They have music blasting through speakers. They have musical instruments being played. And in general, all the noise and the joy of people watching the parade happening can be really overwhelming and overstimulating for anybody.
I was just going to say, for anybody, regardless of, if they have any sensory issues. I know sometimes it becomes a little too much for me sometimes when there's just, you've got the crowd and you got the parade and people are trying to cut across the street and, you name it. This will be a nice, quiet area for everyone. And we're looking forward to year one.
So what exactly is a sensory street? Because I guess for people who understand the need for a sensory area, they immediately get what it is. But in general, when this may be the very first time people are listening to this concept, what it means and what comes with it.
So essentially, there's going to be anytime, again, with the no guns going off, the bands, I believe it's just going to be acoustics, because acoustics are a little different than a lot of the trumpets and trombones and drums and all that sort of stuff. Fire trucks, they won't, they may have their lights, they may tone down their lights, but definitely no sirens. So for a good, couple blocks, they'll have almost like a lead up time, and then there will be the sensory street. And I believe that's when it takes the left turn to finish the parade. But it's going to be such an exciting thing and be able to include everyone regardless. And again, it goes beyond kids with disabilities. It can be veterans, elderly who haven't been able to experience the parade. It's just, we are super, super excited to be involved. We are co-sponsoring it with Magic for Maddie, another great organization. And we're excited to get going.
Now that you're describing that it's going to be a couple of blocks on Appleton Street, right?
That's correct.
So it's not a separate section or an isolated part that is different from the parade or a side of the parade. It's part of the route.
That's correct.
Which
almost
makes
look kind of like a dotted line, right? There's going to be a straight line, and then there's going to be, dotted line, same parade. Here's where we have to tone down everything. And then the parade finishes down in front of City Hall, I believe. And
that is even more meaningful in terms of integrating a sensory area as part of the parade itself without having to change or make it like an annex that at first, and that was my first perception, that it was maybe going to be an isolated area aside of the parade. It is really exciting to hear it is part of the route
That's
itself.
correct. And you talk about inclusion. Like here at the Miracle League, we're all about inclusion. All about inclusion, regardless of what your disability is. We want to get you on the. We want to get you on the field. We want to get you to the parade, and so you can enjoy it.
So, how did a sensory street became a concept, became an idea, and most importantly, how it was possible to have it included as part of the St. Patrick's Day parade?
So it actually has roots from the Holyoke Parade Committee, who had a couple of the members had gone over to Ireland, and I believe, they asked some questions of, well, why all of a sudden is there no music playing? And they said, oh, this is an area for folks with sensory sensitivities. And they were like, well, hey, we got one of the biggest parades in the United States. Let's bring it back. And they had Jim, the president of the parade committee, he had kind of reached out. He's like, hey, we want some input from you guys. This could be something huge. And again, year one, it's going to be a building. And year two, year three, this could really, open up some doors. And again, we talk about inclusion, right? We want everybody to have the ability to come to the parade.
It was then not necessarily a hard process to discuss or to convince the committee to decide to include it.
No, they were all about it. Coming back from Ireland, they initially, had said, "Hey, this is a great idea. What do you guys think?" And of course, we were, all about it. And we said, what can we do as an organization to help promote it? So, we've got a pretty good reach in the area for between players and supporters and sponsors for us to be able to help them get the word out about it. And again, we're thrilled to be able to join it year one.
So now your work as the Miracle League of Western Massachusetts is something that has been involved for a number of years already, working particularly on sports and offering accessibility to disabled children to be able to participate in sports based on those capacities. So how the work that the Miracle League has been doing for these years integrates as well with now being behind the creation of the Sensory Street for the St. Patrick's Days Parade.
So we're going to be able to, again, we talk about it. I know I keep repeating it. We talk about inclusion, and we Miracle League. We started with 17 kids, actually founded in Holyoke, 11 years ago, and we've grown to 90 kids. We service over 100 of them, throughout the year. And again, some of these kids may have never had the chance to go to the parade. And, we actually were awarded the Citizenship Award for the parade this year, which is, it kind of puts us kind of divide and conquer now. So we've got the parade where we have, I think, 29 players and their families are going to walk with us because we're a team. And then Sensory Street, I think we're going to have a number of players that may not want to walk in the parade. It's long. We'll have the opportunity to come down there and, relax. We're going to have some little trinkets and giveaways for the folks that come around to.
Talking about the work throughout these years with the sports and the different seasons, games, how is that experience? You're talking about 11 years, so it means is being successful, is creating a positive impact, and seeing this integration of the Sensory Street is clear indication that is growing. So how can you describe a little bit of what this work has been over the years, and how do you feel is making an impact and is being of importance for the not only thinking about the children who are participating
Yep.
and thinking about their families and the awareness in the community about supporting disabled children?
Correct. So with our, sorry, my brain's all over the place today. You have so the impact to me is it's more than just the kids on the field. It's giving the parents a chance, because a lot of the kids that we have are 24/7 care. So for 45 minutes, 14 times a year, the parents are able to sit back, relax, enjoy, and obviously there's no judgment. We play the adaptive game. It's 45 minutes. It's about what the kids can until their attention span starts to go a little crazy. But not only do the kids and the parents get something out of it, the volunteers get something out of it. Our board of directors get something out of it. Get a lot of things out of it. And we have a lot of I'll call them full circle moments. We now have some players or coaches that played with us and they've aged out, and because we usually play till 19 or 20 years old. And some of those kids have come back. Some of the parents have come back. They're like, how can we give back to the Miracle League? And you talk about full circle moments. I mean, our coaching staff has nearly tripled from the last couple years. And, getting community groups to come in and volunteer. We've had shout out to Munson Savings Bank. They're a sponsor, but it's more than that. They bring a group out every year to go on the field. Sport teams, Ludlow Soccer, Bay Path Occupational Therapy, Springfield College. Again, it's trying to, we're only 6 volunteers that run this. We don't have a huge advertising budget. We don't have a full-time person that has the time to be doing all this. So it's kind of a divide and conquer. But again, getting the awareness out is just huge for us. And Sensory Street offers that as well. So it's offering something to folks that wouldn't be able to normally go to the parade, but it's also getting the Miracle League name out there too. And we're gonna, traditionally we have registration. It's going to be opening on Monday. I'm not sure when the reporting is going to go out, but our last time that we had a registration, we sold out in just under 4 hours, 90 spots. The year before it was like 8 hours. And I'm anticipating, again, with the exposure that the parade has given us, and folks like yourself and the other media outlets who are letting people know, hey, the Miracle League's out there, has just, if we don't sell out in an hour, I'd be very, very surprised.
So I think it is just fair to open up that moment to let everybody know how they can sign up. What is the eligibility? What are maybe some particulars that people need to know in order to sign up, participate, and what to expect for being part of the Miracle League in the season about to start?
So the Miracle League is actually a worldwide organization now. I believe there's 350, we call them local chapters. We have families as far as west from the Berkshires that come out and play, down in Ware, Deerfield, even a couple from Connecticut. Obviously, the bulk of the kids are from Springfield, Chicopee, Holyoke. But we are, when you say Miracle League of Western Mass, like, we are Western Mass. It's not just the Miracle League of Springfield. And, we're only one of 3 Miracle Leagues in Massachusetts. There are Miracle Leagues that are much bigger than we are, but they also have a bigger volunteer base. So for us, essentially, we have 3 games now that we play every Sunday. For us to be able to grow, group volunteers are going to be huge. And even volunteers to be able to come in and help us run the game, the day-to-day stuff, is going to be crucial. Because let's face it, we have 6 board members. We all have full-time jobs, kids. Some of those kids are growing now. They're in scouting and baseball and basketball, and we can't keep up the same pace, but we've grown so big. And this year is probably going to be a record-breaking year. Again, I say that every year. It seems like the last 4 years have been record-breaking, but we're excited to get going.
You mentioned that board members, volunteers get something by being part of this. What is, in your personal experience, some of the most valuable feelings or experiences or learnings that you have got by being involved?
I mean, let's face it, the world we live in now, very stressful. To be able to, for the volunteers, they realize like with all the struggles that our kids go through, their issues are nothing compared to those. And to be able to be part of the experience of, giving the kids a place to feel included and come out on the field and have some fun. And hopefully that makes the volunteers not worry about the outside world right now. Let's focus on these guys because they don't have they don't have all the same opportunities that, I'll call them able-bodied children have the ability to, not play park and rec baseball or basketball. I mean, we're strictly baseball right now, which is traditionally where the Miracle League has gone. There are Miracle Leagues that they do the I Can Ride bike program. They have bowling leagues. They've expanded to basketball. And it just depends on the size of the volunteer base and, what they can do. But I think for a small crew of 6 people, I think we do a heck of a job.
Perfect. And it is really gratifying to see that you are doing this work. You have been doing this work for this many years, and to see this expansion and this growth and the opportunity this will bring for the community in general to learn something new about what a sensory space means.
Yep.
And how that can bring also some joy. It may feel at first for some, but what is going to be a parade without the noise and without the music and without all the things that we are used to see every time there is a parade? And yet it becomes a new level of experience for the ones who otherwise could not enjoy it.
Correct. And you got 95% of the parade will still be the parade. But we need that little piece of the pie to be able to include everybody.
So how can people get to know more about the Miracle League of Western Mass and get in contact, maybe even sign up to volunteer and to help and support the work that you're doing?
So we are we have a big presence on Facebook. That's kind of our go-to. A few of us always joke how Facebook is for old people. We do have a little bit of Instagram, but Facebook is we're able to post the videos and picture the kids and different events that we're doing. So we do have a following, Miracle League of Western Mass. If you search that on Facebook, we do have a website as well, miracleleaguewestma.com. Those are kind of the 2 ways to get us. You can send us an instant message on Facebook. You can also send us an email, miracleleagueofwesternma@gmail.com for any general inquiries. And there's also information on our website about playing and also volunteering. And, like I mentioned before, one of our big things is volunteer groups. So if you are part of a cheerleading group, baseball, high school athletic director, again, a shout out to Ludlow Soccer. They are one of our groups that come every spring, every fall, and they, I think they bring the whole city is always my joke because obviously soccer is so big in Ludlow. But if you, again, are part of an organization that wants to come out and hang out with us for a couple hours on a Sunday morning, you will not be disappointed.
Where is this sensory area and how can people access it?
So it's going to be on, and I'm sorry, I don't have a map in front of me, but it's going to be down by the War Memorial. There's down by the McDonald's. It's going to be in that general vicinity, and I'm sure there's going to be banners and everything set up down there to obviously, identify the sensory area.
This is our conversation with the Miracle League, and Brian is here to share all this information with us. We are really excited to see the integration of something new at the St. Patrick's Day Parade, which is really important for educating, understanding the importance of spaces like this for people in our community of all ages. And of course, the Miracle League is focusing particularly with children, but at the same time that includes their families, and with that includes the community around them, and why not even the ones who are maybe not directly connected to this type of situations or circumstances of life. Important for us to know and understand these spaces are important, And when they exist, we need to make sure that they are protected and respected and addressed and included as part of the celebration, that the St. Patrick's Day Parade can be a day of celebration for everybody in the community. Brian, thank you so much for your work, and thank you so much for sharing with us this amazing initiative.
Absolutely. Thank you guys. It's been a pleasure, and appreciate all the support, and look forward to working with you guys down the road as well.